sun today is prettier than me. I moved my desk again.
To try the easel over on the opposite side. Oops, I just knocked something over. I hear birds outside again. Also, I gotta start painting. I have been rushing through things the last 2 weeks, trying to get used to my new schedule. I haven't had the moment to just sit down and plan some things, so I'm doing that right now. But I want to have enough time for that reflection. I tend to do well getting a lot of the heavier creative work done on Monday, Tuesday at least. So maybe this is actually a bad idea to be researching right now, but I'll experiment and it'll improve. Thinking this is a good place to start.
Hello and welcome to our studio, a space full of big ideas, messy paintbrushes, and lots of snack breaks. If you love painting, you're in the right place. Or if you struggle with being productive in your art process, then you are definitely in the right place. Because I do think you can put creating beauty in your everyday priorities without burning out or feeling like you're wasting time. Over the course of 3 days, I worked through the first layers of this piece, which also was my first time painting in a month and a half. And as much as I wanted everything to flow naturally, I had to have a plan to get to this point. And I still spent a good amount of time figuring out what to do next anyways. So let's break this stage into smaller tasks and see how much we can do in just a few days.
I'm gonna bring in a little bit of white in some of the highlighted areas. After lunch, I'm going to keep working on this and start with the darkest areas, this back wall and the shadows. I want to get a rough first layer of color. My hands are cold today, even though the sun is shining. And okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing lots of layers. I'm not being too particular about color, so if I see some green in it, boom, a little green goes in.
I was pretty eager to get started painting this week and definitely rushed into things. I wanted visible progress and I wanted it now, especially after 2 weeks of prep and planning. I wouldn't say I'm careless during this stage, but my goals are definitely different between phases of the process, and for this week, I had to let go of the overwhelming urge to control things by working with bigger brushes and focusing on the larger color and value schemes. The sun today is prettier than me. Do I go for a walk or keep painting?
I'm remembering what it's like to paint on canvas instead of wood, and it's different.
I've discovered that interruptions to my work life, discomfort, or lack of focus are not reasons to throw in the towel. I've had to become more flexible and willing to adjust to situations so I can keep working instead of walking away. And within a painting as well, when things are not looking how I expected, sometimes it's been better to let go of those expectations and find what is good in the work, and be more open-minded to what comes out in front of me, because admittedly, a lot of painting is just getting material down and then making decisions on how to add or subtract after. In my routines and schedule, I've grown a lot, also figuring out what works best so I can create productively. But I'm still regularly assessing and adjusting my direction based on the realities of life.
I have a distraction.
Currently, I paint or work on art the first 3 days of the week for as long as I can before my energy completely dips. At the moment, this is about 6 hours in a day, including cleaning up and lots of standing and staring at the work. For me, that's a major improvement, as I've gone through phases of trying to paint every day and burning out, or other months where I could only work in 45-minute sessions with only a few sessions a week. Other responsibilities can account for some of those changes, but ultimately it took practice to grow my endurance in painting and also an awareness of what works best for me. Good morning from under my lamp. It's like the sun, which is great because today is cloudy and kind of windy. I feel like I'm always updating you on the weather. That's funny. That's me on the back of Yvonne's painting. Cute. Oh, there's a goose. Always looking at birds. It is 8 o'clock right now, and I set a new schedule yesterday. I made my Google Calendar more realistic to how I actually spend my time, and I wrote that I want to do journaling and research and my thought process stuff. Today I want to continue blocking in the shadow areas. I'm leaving the lighter areas to last because it's really hard to see the changes in color in darker areas when there's a lot of other stuff going on around it. I actually got to a pretty nice level of light and dark in the tractor, and even in here where it's rougher. I like how this is starting to represent the dust, and I don't want to overwork it right now, so I'm gonna leave that whole portion alone today. Something in this painting feels different. I think anytime I work on canvas, it ends up looser. Also, the colors in here are really fun. When you're doing grays and dark areas, it can be really easy to just pull out black and white, mix it, throw it on the canvas, but then you lose so much opportunity for color. There's like reds and greens in here. I think the block-in stage really shows your energy in each area of the painting. I'm being a little bit more meditative about it and flow versus when I was painting the dust. It almost matches, you know, the quality of the sand. Go like that. So big. Whoa! It says hello. Everything is green. Right? It's so freaking cute. I don't think I can talk about motivation and productivity without mentioning rewards. I am guilty of using material things to encourage my work. I have a clear memory of myself as a teenager, even putting candy on textbook pages as a reward for reading a section. Please keep that info to the small corner of the internet though, it's slightly embarrassing. My point is that I think rewards can be a part of your art practice. Saying that the art itself is a reward is great and very true, but some days that will not drag you through the real commitment that creating can be. We are human, deeply wonderful, but also simple creatures. I do try to keep these rewards as investments back into my work though, things that will make the process more enjoyable and sustainable in the first place.
Oh, there's more boxes.
Here comes the Amazon bus. New tripod for you. For my hard drive. These should be organizers. I organize my drawers. Little containers. Okay, let's get back into it and work a little faster. Blocking in this top color and then the mid-tone in the sand. Tools like a new computer, paintbrushes, or art books can be hard to justify if we come from a background where we felt limited or guilty by improving our lives. But I think it's worthwhile if you can do it, and it also provides a bit of evidence that you believe in the direction you are going in. Sometimes a few small wins are exactly what we need on this long journey. I moved my desk again, and I probably will a few more times. I got a new computer! I just don't know where to put it. It is day 3 of this week, Wednesday. I'm pretty sure I want to rearrange my stuff again, but I think this will be the perfect solution. Basically gonna flip where my desk and easel are and kind of give my desk this cozier corner with the light. After that, then we'll paint. I want to darken a couple more areas down there, then start roughing in some of the lighter spots. That's it. Keep in mind that it's completely possible I will do all of this work and then change it again, all while I should be painting. Goodbye, chair. I went to try the easel over on the opposite side. It's actually pretty decent here.
Then my desk kind of gets more of a cozy corner. Not bad. What do we think?
I don't know, that just feels kind of awkward.
Let me think about it and we'll get back. It's getting better in here. I think it's always a process to figure out how your space works best for you. So I noticed when I was checking the values, this section in here needs to be darker. You know, I cleaned all of this, but for some reason I just don't know where things really are. Oh boy. Oh, found it. Oh yeah, she's light.
A little bit of motivation can come from anything that you enjoy. Even if we don't have much to invest financially or time-wise, try to make the most out of little creative ideas in your life to rearrange your space, make that fancy sandwich with all the extra toppings, or move to the music you're listening to. Lean into what you love. This can be a great energy boost or be art in itself as you produce visions and feelings into reality.
So I'm starting to carve out some of the highlights in here too, and I'm just thinking of them as more general, larger shapes. I really don't need this area to be super technical at this point. If I see a pattern that can help me identify where to place these, that's useful. For example, a lot of these highlights are hugging the back side of the shadow. I'm more so understanding what's happening here than being hyper-specific.
Working on a complex or larger project can feel like too much when looking at it all at once.
Actually, it's not bad.
Breaking a painting into phases and then again into smaller sections or goals to work on helps me think about one thing at a time and be productive in my art process. Instead of putting the word painting on my to-do list every day, I try to get specific and note exactly what needs to be done, so I can spend less time jumping all over the place and more time making progress.
I'm kind of craving just blocking this in and maybe Luca a little. Got the tiniest bit of gray and white in it. I need to clean my brushes better.
By this point, on day 3 of my week, I was ready for something simple and a little fun. Saving a bit of my work that feels good for the end of the week when I'm slowing down is another tool I use to hold my attention. Painting this large section of yellow that won't change much later reminds me how I'm getting closer to a finished piece. Knowing which parts of your process are easier or more enjoyable for you can be useful even in planning out your time. Save what's harder for when you have more energy or focus. I'm a big believer in self-awareness.
It's 3 o'clock. That gives me an hour and a half to start putting in the shadows on him, and that'll help complete the values.
We have an unending wealth of information about ourselves tucked into our habits, experiences, and actions. Even when we read 100 books or study all the masters, we miss out on what's right under our nose. The closer I've come to knowing my quirks and intricacies, the more joy I've gained. Through better knowing what I want in this life and what I am made to do, I've been able to produce more and at a higher quality than before. In our heads, productivity may exist as an idea of only how much you can make, more work, more money, more skills, but eventually you might see that being productive and to create abundantly is always affected by the inputs, and you are the primary input for your creations. So to be truly productive, you need to cater to who you are. Honor the visions, feelings, and characteristics that set you apart. Making the most out of what we have gets much easier after that. Thanks for watching.